Hurricane Imelda has impacted Bermuda and is now extratropical. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Naso with this evening update on the tropics this Thursday evening. It's been a busy week or so in the Atlantic tropics. We had Hurricane Umberto, a Category 5 storm that turned out to sea, followed quickly by Hurricane Imelda, which really gave a lashing to Bermuda. They had gusty winds and a lot of power outages down trees, but no heavy destruction. Had been up to a Category 2 hurricane, but obviously notice here how it is now shriveled up and become extratropical. It's now no longer a tropical cyclone as it gets caught up here and zooms towards the east at 30 to 40 miles per hour. We were watching this tropical wave here in the Atlantic, the central Atlantic, that is showing some life, but it kind of fizzled this afternoon. We're going to watch this area as it moves towards the west through time. There's some indication that we might have something else brew off Africa in the next week or so. And then we're going to start to watch this area here in the Western Caribbean. This is a good breeding ground for late season hurricanes. Some of the strongest hurricanes, some of the deadliest hurricanes of all time have been down in this area of the Caribbean in October and November. So we're going to watch that carefully. Here's the latest on post-tropical cyclone Imelda. Had been Hurricane Imelda. 33.2 north, 59.5 west. Wind still 75, so still hurricane force, but not 100 miles an hour anymore. Racing, and I mean racing, east-northeast at 29. And again, it should continue way up here between the Azores and the Canadian Maritimes. We're not going to have to deal with Imelda anymore. But like I said, still caused a lot of problems for Bermuda. We'll have to deal with it on the United States coast with the form of high rip currents. Everywhere from Miami to Manhattan, you guys are at a very high risk for dangerous surf and rip currents, and then that extends all the way up into Maine. Stay out of the water. The water's starting to get cool, especially north of the Outer Banks, so that time of year is coming to an end, and even if it weren't, you wouldn't want to be in the water after being kicked up by not one but two potent hurricanes. The key messages for Imelda: number one, gusty winds over Bermuda will gradually subside today. And number two, as I mentioned, the swells and high surf are expected to produce those dangerous rip currents along much of the east coast and western Atlantic during the next couple of days. Again, that should all be pushing out eventually, but for now, still dealing with a very powerful system. Elsewhere in the tropics, we have two lemons, as we call them. We get lemon, oranges, and cherries. Yellow, orange, and red. Low, medium, and high. These are low chances for development. The first is a very low chance near Florida and the Gulf of Mexico, Bahamas. There is a frontal boundary remnant, and if it does develop, it's going to move across Florida and into the Gulf of America, and that's a 10% chance there. And then we also have our disturbance out in the Atlantic, 20% chance for development. That's a tropical wave that, as I mentioned, should move off the coast of Africa. And it's going to interact with another disturbance, and that could combine and develop. Again, I've seen storms in the past that begin out here. I remember in 2001, Hurricane Iris, very tiny Category 4, way down in Belize. It started near the Caribbean islands and just kind of zoomed like that, but it came from a wave off Africa that was interacting. It's kind of a mess until it gets to the Caribbean. We also had Hurricane Lily in 2002. It was a strong hurricane, hit Louisiana. It had been a Category 4 over the Gulf. That started near the islands, but it originated from one of these early October type waves. So we could still have something brew and then be a problem down the road. So that's what we're going to watch. As of now, I'm not seeing too much, but there is a pretty good wave. If we look actually here, I'm going to change the image. Can I look here to Africa? Let me see. There you go. Look at that. Oh, yeah, look at that wave. This sucker looks impressive. It's got that shape already. This might be the one we're watching interacting with this mess near the ITCZ, the Intertropical Convergence Zone. And even though it's getting later in the year, you could still have something. And remember, all of these could eventually make it to the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf, so we got to watch it. The GFS model is showing some potential brewing in the Caribbean, but more importantly, it is showing a system develop. And those pink lines, when you're dealing with pink colors like that, those are strong hurricanes. So it's showing another turn, but we've already seen Erin, Umberto, Imelda. This has been a very active area this year, right in this location. So we'll keep a close eye. The European model, same deal. Watch, it develops a system. Some of the islands get impacted, maybe Puerto Rico, maybe Bermuda. We'll keep an eye on it. Right now there's nothing there, but it is something to watch. So I'm Mike Naso with the latest on Hurricane Imelda. It's out of here. We're not going to have to deal with it. Humberto's long gone. We might have a quiet week or so, but we probably are still going to have some more storms for hurricane season 2025. We'll watch that wave off Africa and see what happens. I'll talk to you guys next time.